So when I was first starting out as like a gay, I had read on Reddit like a few years ago that like if you're ever stranded in a place where you don't have access to your enema bulb and like douching supplies, you can always go to CVS or Walgreens and get a Fleet saline enema and like douche with that. There was this one day a few years ago when I was like 21 where I like didn't have anything. I was in the middle of a sleepover with my friends and this really hot dude hit me up and asked me to come over and bang. I was far from home and all the sex shops were closed, and so I was like, oh, why don't I just go to CVS or Walgreens and grab the Fleet enema. The box looks like this, and the inside of the box looks like this. And here's the thing, no one on Reddit like went into detail as to like how to actually use this thing and like what the purpose is, and so I kind of just used this at this really hot dude's place, and instead of my butt being squeaky clean for the vitamin D, after using this, I instead got very painful cramps in my abs and my butt, and I ended up farting, diarrhea-like substances out of my butt in the bathroom of this very hot dude's place. And guess what? It was not quiet. It was like the loudest farting sound I had ever heard in my life, and it took me 2 hours to actually get everything out. And I ended up not bottoming and not being clean because I felt ill. I have learned a lot about the Fleet saline enema since then, how to use it, what it's actually for desperate bottoms. And today, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to not make my mistakes and how to properly anal douche with the Fleet saline enema. Before I get started, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Please also check out my full bottoming course at the links below. I have a whole explicit douching tutorial on there if you need it. Please also check out my premium douche kits at the links below so you don't have to worry about the Fleet saline enema and you could just bring this instead. Okay, so like I said, if you're ever stranded in the middle of somewhere and you don't have access to any douching supplies, whether it be like at home or like all the sex shops are closed, you can always go to Walgreens or CVS or any like drugstore vibe and get yourself the Fleet saline enema. So step one is obviously to go to the store and either ask for this box or look for it yourself. This retails for about $4. I don't see it ever going past $4, but it might be like $3.50 or like $4.50 at different places depending on where you are. But whenever I've gotten this, it was always just about $4. So unless you're like super poor, you can afford this, right? Step two is very important, and that is to remove literally all of the liquids that are in this container. So this was my mistake before. I didn't realize that Fleet saline is like a laxative. The liquid in this container is a laxative, and laxatives make you poop, like they force you to poop. So on the beautiful night when I actually squirted this Fleet saline inside my butt, I had actually pooped before. Like I had pooped out my entire intestines before I even decided to anal douche with this thing. But guess what? Even though I pooped, even though I was empty, because I put so much of this laxative in my butt, I had to poop again. And I didn't even need to poop or like had anything in my system. So like I think it literally just found things in my body and like forced it to go out. And because it forced it to go out, like my abs, my stomach, my abs, and my butt were all cramping up so bad, you guys. Like you only take a laxative if you're feeling constipated. So like if you're not constipated or like if your butt is pooping regularly, which I was, laxatives will not work well for you, okay? So let's reiterate. Step two is to empty out the contents of this liquid. When I tell you it took me 2 hours to literally shart all of whatever it was out, and it was so loud, it was like, but like a lot worse. Step three is to kind of rinse this container. You kind of want to use a lot of water and maybe some soap because like I said, you don't want like a single drop of this laxative in your system unless you're like your doctor told you to do so, or like if you need the laxative because you're constipated. Otherwise, literally rinse it out with water and soap, warm water and soap. Don't forget to also rinse and wash like this nozzly twisty part up here because there probably will be some saline on there. Step four is to fill this container up all the way with lukewarm water. And I say all the way up because if you don't fill this up all the way with lukewarm water and you fill it up like halfway or something, you're gonna need a lot more squeezing power just to get the liquid up here and then into your butt. So let's save your hand power and squeeze it up all the way it'll just make the entrance to your butt like a lot easier. I also want to emphasize that you have to fill this up with lukewarm water and not cold water or hot water, because if the water is too cold, you'll get like a brain freeze, but like in your butt. And if the water is too hot, you'll burn your butt. And like, unless you're into that, let's avoid like hurting our butts, okay? Step 5, remove this orange thing. And then lube up that tip right there. The times that I did not lube up my enema tip when I douched were not very pleasant times. These tips are not soft or bendy or like comfortable to the touch. They're actually very hard and plasticky. So let's avoid cutting our butts and just lube up the tip so that it goes in your butt a lot more smoothly and a lot more comfortably. Step 6, find your butthole with this, unclench your butthole while putting this in. It's important to unclench your butthole and kind of open up, because if you don't open up, your butt muscles will act like a wall and this will not be able to penetrate. And like, if you squeeze the container and your butt is closed, you'll end up just like leaking dirty water down your thighs, and who wants that? The one way to open up your butt is by telling your mind that you're pooping on the tip. That kind of like makes you open up, because that's what you do when you poop, like you open up your butt muscles. And so do that when you're inserting this tip in your butt. You won't actually poop on the tip, so don't worry about that. The reason why you have to poop before every douching routine is for this exact reason of opening up your butthole, so don't worry about pooping on this tip. Step 7, once an inch of this tip is in your butt, clench your butthole to secure it in place before squirting the water into your butt. Similar to what I said earlier, the water will not go in your butt unless this tip is like secured in your butt. If you leave the butt open once this is in and you squirt the water in, it's just gonna leak out down your thighs. And it's gonna be gross, and you're gonna slip and hurt your head and then not be alive. So clench up that booty hole. When you squeeze the container to put the water in, make sure that you're only putting about half of this container into your butt. If you put too much water in your butt when you're douching and then the water travels past your rectum, you could trigger other poops that live in your colon area that like did not need to be bothered in the first place. And then at that point, you'd have to clean out for like 2 more hours and waste a lot of time. And let's just avoid all of that by only using half of this container. Step 8. Leave the water in your butt for 30 seconds to a minute. Step 9, poop out the dirty water, refill the flea enema with lukewarm water, and repeat 3 to 5 more times. At that point, you should be clean and good to go for the vitamin D. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Don't forget that I have a full douching tutorial explicit on my bottoming course at the links below. I also have my premium douche kits, and these enemas are really, really good. They come with lube, an instruction guide, and a personalized letter handwritten by me. Get a premium douche kit so you don't have to use Fleet ever. Like, leave one in your car or something, or like in your backpack. But I will say the Fleet is a good desperate option that's always gonna be there for you, unless the CVS is closed. But let's be positive here. Thank you again for watching my video. Please leave a comment asking me what you'd like to see next, or if you have any questions, I will get to you. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.